you guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Shaquita, aka Makeup by Queen, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Feel free to subscribe and make sure you click the bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload. And on today's video, I'm just going to do a basic makeup routine that I do all the time when I'm getting ready to run errands, when I'm going to work, when I don't want anything too crazy. I just want to be nice and put together for the day. So if you're interested in this type of video, please feel free to stay tuned and let's get started with this video. So I've already primed my face, and I primed it using the TATCHA silk canvas, and I sprayed my face first with the PEARLESSENCE mint and bamboo tonic water. And I've really been, on days that I'm just being basic, I will go ahead and use this to spray on the face. And I will make sure I buy the big thing of the TATCHA, because if you watch my last video, I'll make sure I link it in the cards. I wasn't crazy about this primer. I was really just trying to figure out. So I'm just going to get right into the video, showing you everything that I normally do for my everyday on the go makeup tutorial. So first I'm using the NYX Professional Tinted Brown Mascara in the shade Black. And it just looks like this, nothing too fancy. And I'm just going to, I need a mirror first. And all I'm going to do is just brush up my hairs to the front, and then the rest of them I'm going to take this way. And it's just a little brow tint, nothing too crazy. And I like this for my everyday look because this just helps for my makeup to have a more natural feel. And it's up to you which way you would like to brush your eyebrow hairs. I just prefer to brush it this way. Okay, you guys, so I'll basically be finishing out the remainder of this video with the voiceover, because at this point my son Micah just basically wants to have an orchestra at the time that I was doing the video. But it's all good, everything happens for the best, right? So right here I'm just showing you the products that will be used in this video. Some of them I decided to add after the fact, but it's okay. As a disclaimer, all products used in this video will be listed in the description box below, so always be sure to check that out. So yeah, all of these products are products that will be used in the video, and I'm going to start off with my eyebrows using the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil in the shade dark brown. And what I'll be doing in that section is just basically creating a tail end of my brows because they're non-existent at this point, but it's okay, we're trying our best to grow them out. And once I create the tail end of my brows, I'll be filling in the front part of my brows just to fill in those sparse areas. And basically I'm just creating a line underneath the brows, and then as you can see, because the pencil is so small, it's going to create hair-like strokes. And now I'm just carving out my brows using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And like I said, I'm just basically cleaning up my brows, giving myself a nice, slick, clean brow. And then once I do that, I am going to basically use my Wet n Wild shader brush, and I'm just practically just buffing out that concealer around my brows. Now I'm using my Black Radiance Color Perfect foundation stick. This is in the shade Espresso. So I'm using this for the outer part of my face and acting as in a contour all at the same time. And then once I do that, I'm going to use the same foundation stick but in the shade Cocoa Bean, and that's basically going to go to the inner parts of my face. These two colors together create my perfect shade. So sometimes you will have to mix your shades in order to get that perfect shade. I didn't mind with this foundation only because it's inexpensive. I believe it's like $9. And so I didn't feel like I was, but if it was something like Fenty or something more expensive, then no, I'm not mixing my shade for that price. So I'm just basically putting this in the center part of my face, and then I'm going to use my e.l.f. blending sponge, and basically I'm going to start off blending out the shade Cocoa Bean. And then after I blend that into the inward part of my face, then I'm going to blend out with the same end of that sponge the shade Espresso. And for the tail part, the pointy part of the blending sponge, that's what I use to blend out my concealer. So you'll see me go back and forth between the pointy end and the tail end of that sponge, making sure that those two foundation shades are well blended. So I'm going back into the shade Fawn just to highlight under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, and to basically cancel out any darkness that's above my top lip. And as stated, you just want to make sure that you go between the tail end and the pointy end of the sponge, making sure that there's no harsh lines in your foundation, that everything is well blended, and it just basically looks like you have dimension to your face, because we don't want anything flat, sis. We want everything in dimension, beautiful, and just flawless. Now I am setting the conceal areas using the Wet n Wild photo focus setting powder in the shade Deep, and I'm just tapping that into the foundation. You want to tap it until it basically melts into that foundation or the concealer, and also the concealer. So you just want to use pat motions. I swipe sometimes, but only to make sure. Just to make sure that basically I've set my whole face. So I pat first, then I swipe just to make sure. And you'll know if you set all your areas, because if you swipe, you'll feel a tug. And if you feel a tug, that means you haven't set that area. So pat first. And once you feel like you've set everything, then try to swipe to make sure there's no tugging, if that makes sense. And just cleaning up that contour. Now I'm using my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder just to set the rest of my face, which is basically the areas where I set the shade Espresso. I'm setting all of those areas. And then I'm going to go into the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in the shade Dark to Deep, and I'm going to grab the Sculpt's shade, and I'm basically going to use that to act as a bronzer for my face, and I'm just applying it everywhere I apply the shade Espresso. Now I'm going to the Black Radiance Artisan Baked Blush in the shade Toasted Almond, and I'm just putting a little flush of color on the cheeks and a little bit on the tip of the nose, just to bring everything full circle. And using the Sculpt shade again in the contour palette, I'm just contouring the nose just a bit, just bringing out the bridge of my nose, and that's about it. And then back with that brush that we applied the Micro Smooth Powder, just to make sure there's no harsh line. So using the Profusions Siennas palette, I am just basically grabbing two of those shades. out of the palette, which will be listed in the description box below, and applying that to the crease, and that is it for eyeshadow. Just something nice and simple. And grabbing my Mario Badescu rosewater spray, spraying the face, and I just speeded up this part because it was just pretty self-explanatory. Can't talk. And just giving it, this just helps aid into giving my makeup a nice skin-like finish, and also help blend out anything that wasn't blended. So I'm using my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just applying several coats of mascara because I like for my lashes, if I'm not wearing any mascara, I like for them to be nice, thick, and noticeable. And filling in my brows because when we were blending, we lost a little bit of the tail end. Using my Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm. And that pretty much concludes the video, you guys. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was simple. I hope it was easy to follow. If so, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.